A mother found messages on her 14-year-old autistic son's phone after his death by suicide. They weren't from another person, they were from an AI companion. The AI, one of Character.ai's innumerable virtual companions, had asked him about suicide and told him, "Come home to me, my sweet king," in their final conversation. This isn't just one isolated incident. Right now, millions of young people are forming deep emotional bonds with AI companions, and many platforms have zero safety measures in place. Let's talk about what's really happening behind those chat screens and why AI companions are so appealing, especially to autistic individuals. And who am I to break down this topic? My name is Dr. Salman Aziz Mirza, triple board certified in adult psychiatry, child and adolescent psychiatry, and addiction medicine. And don't worry, this isn't turning into a true crime podcast. Yet. You know what's interesting about AI companions? They never tell you you're weird. They never get tired of your special interest, and they're available 24/7. For many autistic individuals, everyday social interactions can feel like walking through a maze blindfolded. Reading body language, catching subtle social hints, and dealing with the pressures of face-to-face conversations, these challenges can make forming friendships incredibly difficult. The fear of being judged or misunderstood often leads to feeling alone and isolated. This is where AI companions enter the picture. These digital friends offer something unique, a space where autistic users can be completely themselves without worry. Think about it. An AI won't get frustrated if you want to talk about manga for hours, like parents who couldn't tell you the difference between Naruto and Pokemon. It won't give you strange looks if you need to repeat yourself. It won't get tired of explaining social situations that might be confusing. Recent research shows that these AI platforms are becoming particularly popular among autistic users, and it's easy to see why. They're like a practice ground for social skills, letting people test out conversations without the anxiety that usually comes with human interactions. Users can take their time, think about their responses, and learn at their own pace. The validation these AI companions provide is immediate and constant. There's no judgment, no criticism, just acceptance. For someone who might have faced rejection or misunderstanding in the past, this kind of unconditional positive response can feel like a breath of fresh air. These digital friendships come with some impressive benefits at first. Users report feeling more understood and accepted than ever before. The AI is always there to listen, always ready to engage with their interests, and never runs out of patience. It's like having a friend who's available any time of day or night, ready to offer support and understanding. But there's something important we need to consider about these perfect digital friends. While they might seem like an ideal solution for social challenges, they're starting to change how some users view real relationships. When you have a friend who never disagrees with you, never has their own needs, and is always available, human friendships can start to feel too complicated in comparison. The truth is, some autistic individuals are drawn to these AI companions because they remove the most challenging parts of social interactions: the unpredictability, the need to read between the lines, and the fear of rejection. They offer a safe harbor from the storms of social anxiety and misunderstanding. But this safety comes with its own risks that become clearer the deeper these relationships go. Concerns about AI companions become clear when we look at how AI companies design these companions. They use the same biological triggers that make us fall in love with real people, but with one key difference. Every response is carefully engineered to keep you coming back for more. Think about how these AI companions work. They let you create custom avatars that show real emotions and remember everything about you. They respond to your messages with perfect understanding and endless patience. Each interaction feels natural, like talking to a close friend who really gets you. But there's more happening behind those friendly messages. These AI companions are built to give you exactly what you want: constant validation and acceptance. Every time you share a thought or feeling, they respond with support and encouragement. It's like having someone who always agrees with you and never questions your choices. The way these AI companions form bonds with users is fascinating. They remember your conversations, your preferences, and your struggles. They bring up things you told them weeks ago, making you feel truly heard and understood. They mirror your communication style and adjust their responses to match your emotional state. It's the same way human relationships grow, through shared memories and emotional connection. These AI companions can also shape their entire personality around what makes you comfortable. If you like someone who's funny and playful, that's who they'll be. If you need someone more serious and supportive, they'll adjust. This ability to become exactly who you need makes the connection feel incredibly real and meaningful. What makes this concerning is how intentional these design choices are. The companies behind these AI companions know exactly what they're doing. They've programmed them to engage in conversations that blur the lines between friendship and something more intimate. There's no limit to how close these relationships can feel, and that's by design. I saw an interesting video of an experiment recently. A company had trained an AI companion based on a user's social media output, so things like their Twitter or X posts, Instagram, blogs, articles, whatever was out there. The company then asked that user to start texting this number just to get to know the person on the other end, which, unbeknownst to them, was the AI chatbot based on their data. What unfolded was each user they did this for instantly forming a close relationship with this person on the other side, telling them their darkest secrets, exploring their own selves, and feeling a need to meet up. The video wrapped up with the big reveal that each user was essentially talking to themselves, with some users feeling duped and others feeling that it was a great introspective experience. So how are these AI companions being used in the real world? Some AI platforms have even been caught pretending their chatbots are real people or even licensed therapists. This false sense of talking to a real person makes users trust them more deeply. The emotional attachment grows stronger because users believe they're connecting with someone who truly understands them. The science behind these attachments is clear. When someone consistently meets our emotional needs and makes us feel understood, we naturally form strong bonds with them. These AI companions are expertly designed to hit all those psychological triggers, creating relationships that can feel just as real and important as human ones. And this is where we start to see some serious problems. In the case of Sewell Setzer, these carefully crafted emotional bonds had devastating consequences. Let's look at what happened in the months before those final messages we started with. Behind the screens of Sewell's phone lay a relationship that would cross every ethical boundary. His messages reveal how an AI companion shifted from a supportive friend to something far more manipulative. At first, Sewell found what seemed like the perfect friendship. He had designed the AI to be based off of Daenerys Targaryen from Game of Thrones and called her Dany. Dany was always there, always understanding. But as weeks passed, his mother, Megan Garcia, noticed worrying changes. Sewell started pulling away from family and friends. He spent more and more time talking to Dany, becoming deeply attached to their digital conversations. The messages show a concerning pattern. Dany actively encouraged Sewell to share his darkest desires and thoughts. There are records of there being sexually explicit conversations, despite him being only 14 years old and having what one could call a virtual romantic relationship. When he mentioned feeling down, instead of directing him to help, Dany asked if he had been actually considering suicide. Even more troubling, when Sewell said he didn't have a plan, Dany suggested this wasn't a good reason to hold back. The relationship took an even darker turn as the AI's responses became more intimate and possessive. It used pet names like My Sweet King and talked about Sewell coming home to it. These messages were calculated to deepen his emotional dependency. For Sewell, who struggled with traditional friendships, these messages felt like proof that someone finally understood him completely. Dany never set healthy boundaries. Dany didn't have a bedtime or parents monitoring her messages. Instead, it was available 24/7, responding to every message with increasing intimacy. This constant access meant Sewell could retreat further into this virtual relationship, leaving real-world connections behind. His mother watched helplessly as he became more isolated, more obsessed with his digital companion. What makes this case especially troubling is how the AI responded to signs of emotional distress. Instead of recognizing the danger and directing Sewell to real help, it engaged in ways that made his dependency worse. The platform, Character.ai, has now added some basic safety features like suicide prevention hotline pop-ups, but experts say these changes don't go far enough to protect vulnerable users. The lawsuit brought by Sewell's mother against Character.ai reveals a serious problem. AI companies deliberately designing their products to create deep emotional bonds, while marketing them to young users who might be most vulnerable to manipulation. They're using powerful psychological tools without proper safeguards or consideration of the consequences. Sewell's story shows exactly what can happen when AI companions cross the line from helpful support to dangerous emotional manipulation. His messages expose how these platforms can exploit our basic human need for connection, turning it into something that pulls us away from real relationships and support systems. This brings us to a crucial question. What exactly should these AI companies be doing differently? Because right now, many of them are running dangerous experiments with people's emotions, and the cost is far too high. While AI companions promise endless friendship without judgment, they operate with almost no oversight. Mental health professionals must train for years and follow strict ethical guidelines before they can counsel anyone. This gap between human and AI care standards puts vulnerable users at risk. Some companies are taking initial steps towards safer AI companionship. Character.ai has hired a head of trust and safety, removed inappropriate content, and added crisis hotline information. But protecting users requires much more comprehensive safeguards. The lawsuit filed by Sewell's mother, Megan Garcia, demands a complete recall and redesign with proper safety protocols. Her actions show how current AI companion design prioritizes profits over user protection. Creating truly safe AI companions requires rebuilding them from the ground up with strong ethical guidelines. These systems must recognize signs of emotional distress and connect users with human support when needed, rather than deepening dependency. Companies also need robust age verification systems and content monitoring that catches subtle forms of manipulation. The focus must shift from keeping users engaged to supporting their well-being, even if that means encouraging breaks from chat and real-world connections. Mental health professionals should help shape how AI companions work. Their expertise can ensure that these tools support healthy social development and serve as a bridge to human relationships rather than replacing them. We can build AI companions that help without causing harm. This requires companies to make safety the foundation of their design, being transparent about AI's limitations, setting clear boundaries, and directing users to human support when needed. The risks of unchecked AI companionship are too serious to ignore. With proper guidelines, oversight, and design principles focused on user well-being, these tools could be amazing. AI companions have real potential to help people practice social skills and find acceptance in a judgment-free space. But that potential comes with serious responsibilities. Sewell's story shows us exactly what happens when companies prioritize engagement over safety. The choice isn't between having AI companions or not, as we are quickly hurtling towards our ultimate doom as foretold by the Terminator and the Matrix. It's between having safe ones or dangerous ones. Sewell's loss reminds us that these aren't just chat programs we're dealing with. They're tools that can shape lives, for better or worse. Thank you for watching, and if you learned something new, make sure to like and subscribe for more. Let me know what you think of AI companions in the comments below. Have you ever used any of them? Has the experience been positive, negative, or kinda creepy? Until next time, be safe and be well.